Hey, thanks for joining me today. Everyone, it is a Wednesday. That means it's a Big Idea Wednesday. Look at that. Look at that. Screwed up my graphics already. It is June 5th. Don't let the squiggle on the screen fool you. My name's Tom Coffey. We're live. We're live at YouTube, X, and Rumble. Rumble.com/coffeenuance/live. Just bookmark it. It's the easiest way to find the show. And today we're going to talk about selective perception. Selective perception. And perhaps we may even have a couple people join us in the audience. So let me just going to check real quick, see if we're live. Should know if we're live, right? But I think we're live on Rumble. We got a couple people on YouTube. No one on X yet. That's right. I have no audience on X. I don't know why. A lot of people are not on X because I think it is a great platform. But so I'll just pull this up here and make sure that I mute it. Mute. Okay. So I can see I can see comments on all of these, X, YouTube, and on Rumble. Okay, cool. Well, let's get to it, shall we? Where did... hang on a second. I got too many windows open. The hell happened? Oh, come on. What happened? Here we go. Here we are. Okay. What's up, John? Nice to see you, Joe. All doing well, Erie Fairy. Glad you all are joining me in the chat. So, but today we're talking about selective perception. Let's get to it. Yes, selective perception. It's that nifty little mental trick where your brain decides to focus on what it finds interesting and ignores everything else. It's like when your cat sits on your laptop when you're working. That's selective attention, people. Feline edition. Think about it. We live in these cozy little bubbles, filtering reality like bad coffee. Your Aunt Karen? She can give you the entire plot of Young and the Restless, if that's still a show. But ask her to name a Supreme Court justice, she still thinks Ruth Bader Ginsburg is kicking. Your buddy Dave can quote every stat from last night's game, but doesn't know the first thing about, I don't know, censorship on the internet, right? We're in bubbles, people. Big, comfy, echo-filled bubbles. Remember the days when we all watched the same news? No, because that was before my time. But Cronkite told us that's the way it is. And we believed him. Now it's more like, that's the way it is if you watch MSNBC. Or that's the way it is if you're glued to Fox News. We're all dining on a buffet of reality, picking and choosing our facts like we're at Golden Corral of confirmation bias. The selective perception thing is everywhere. Ever get a new car? No, not me. I'm not that rich. But what I hear is suddenly it's like everyone in town has that exact same model. That's selective perception. Your brain is being rewired to see it. It's like a twisted version of the Truman Show where everybody's driving your car. And then there's social media, the holy grail of selective perception. These algorithms are designed to show you more of what you like, which means more of what you agree with. It's a feedback loop of ignorance. Facebook's like, oh, you like that cat video? Here, watch 5,000 more. While you're at it, here's some conspiracy theories because you watched one video on a UFO. It's like a drug dealer for your biases. It's not just politics and cats, though. It's everything: your diet, your hobbies, even your exercise routine. Vegans get ad for kale chips and documentaries on how cows are plotting against us. Carnivores get steak recipes and articles on how bacon is actually a health food if you squint hard enough. We're living in self-made Truman shows, people. So what's the antidote for this epidemic of selective perception? How do we burst our own bubbles? It starts with realizing that we're in one. Step outside your comfort zone. Read a book by someone who doesn't think like you. Watch a news channel you usually avoid like the plague. Hell, talk to your Uncle Larry about something other than potato salad, though maybe not while you're eating it. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffey Nuance Show, the least watched, censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. So this is what I wanted to talk about. I've been fortunate enough to be talking to people out in the wild, right? I've been out subbing some fitness classes and talking with people, and I brought in a song that I made with artificial intelligence. I tried telling a couple people about it, like, hey, I made this with AI. They were like, what? What's that? I'm like, really? Really? Wow. We really are in our own bubble. And it got me just thinking about our selective perception, meaning that we all have different realities. I mean, the reality is that it is sunny outside, but if you're stuck inside and you don't have any windows, it doesn't really matter, right? Your reality is where you are and what you are focusing on. Sometimes we have shared realities, sometimes we don't. But part of what I wanted to talk about today was what you choose to focus on has a big impact on your life and your mental health, your well-being, everything. Your joy, your spirit, your attitude, everything. And that's selective perception. And so I wanted to give a warning that if there is something that something's not working for you, like maybe you're watching a news show, right? Or maybe you're watching a YouTube channel, and afterwards you don't feel good. You feel worse. Maybe let that one go. Mine included, right? If I talk about things and you're like, oh man, I wish I hadn't heard that. Boy, I can't, it's hard for me to go on with my day knowing that. Thanks a lot. Then maybe that channel's not for you. Maybe that news program's not for you. Selective perception is a cognitive process where every individual perceives and they interpret information based on their own experiences, their own beliefs, interests, expectations. And it means that they filter and focus on certain aspects while ignoring others, leading to a subjective view of reality. Now, is reality subjective? Kind of, but not really, right? If you have cancer, you still have cancer, whether you know that you have cancer or that you ignore that you have cancer or whatever. Okay, you still have it. Okay. I am the person I am no matter what I think, right? I could think that I'm a superhero. Okay, but I'm still Tom. Right? But here's some key points and factors that influence selective perception, because this is the big idea today, as it's Wednesday, big idea Wednesday. Attention and focus. People have limited capacity for processing information, right? We're only human. So focus on what you deem to be important or interesting. And often this focus can be influenced by, your immediate needs, goals, interests, etc. And there's also, we have a perception load, meaning the complexity and the quantity of information available in the environment can also influence selective perception. high perceptual load can make it harder for individuals to notice less relevant stimuli. So if you're walking out on a busy city street with there's so much going on around you, it's hard to focus on everything, right? You can't see everything. You have to choose what you're focusing on. Another thing is your past experiences. Now, cognitive frameworks, schemas, as they call it in psychology, they're built from your past experiences. So your past experiences help people organize and interpret information. Another thing is priming, right? So previous times that you've had previously, that can affect how you perceive what you're seeing today. For whatever reason, like when I was a kid, I remember we were out, and this is a terrible example, but I'll just use it anyway. I think we were going to Toys R Us, or like drove into the city, right? And there's a parking space that was open, and I think my dad was like, "Oh, I'll back into that parking spot," and he pulled forward. And he was going to back into this prime parking spot. And out of nowhere came a fat lady in a gray van around the corner and just whipped into that parking space. And for years, I was like, oh, we've got to be on the lookout for a fat lady in a gray van. But ever since then, anytime I'm parking, I'm primed for a fat lady in a gray van to take my spot. Our past, our history does have an effect on how we view things around us. Something else, personal goals and motivation influence what people pay attention to. So for example, if you're hungry, have you ever been hungry and you go to the supermarket, right? All of a sudden, there's a lot more things that you're throwing into your cart. Okay. So good idea. Don't go shopping while you're hungry. That's what I've learned. And emotions play into this as well. For example, someone in a happy mood might focus more on positive aspects of their surrounding. Someone that's sad may focus in on the negativity that's around them as well. The whole idea here is I'm trying to convey is that we select what we focus on. And what we focus on makes up our reality. So it's important to choose wisely. Okay. So another thing is social and cultural norms. They also shape how individuals consider what's important, what's not important. So, for example, maybe you're a kid that's very into fashion. Well, you start looking at what everyone else is wearing in high school, right? You're judging everyone based on what they're doing, because for them, maybe your social group, your clique, you're into checking out what people are wearing. That's your thing. A lot of people, that thought doesn't even enter their mind, right? So we have different realities, even though we're in the same reality. And lastly, or not lastly, but almost lastly, the media that we choose to focus on does play a significant role in shaping our perception of reality. So if you've been watching my show for a long time, perhaps you are more aware of not just reading a headline, not blindly believing what the corporate media says, what fact checkers say, things like that, because you've chosen to watch my channel, perhaps, right? But your media consumption is a primary place in people's lives that does kind of shape their view of reality. And so what I want to propose is that if there's some media that is not helping you, that is not being beneficial, that is bringing you down, replace it with something else, right? Watch some cat videos instead. for the most part, the news every day is not that important. It's really not. But if it's doing more harm than good, then let it be. Leave it alone. There's no point in focusing on it if it's not working out for you. And I think that that's what you should do in life. Always examine what you're doing. Is this working for me or not working for me? And if it's not working for you, let it go. Let it go. Same thing like at your work, right? What you focus on at work is really important, but you also need to be aware of what is your boss focusing on at work? What are your coworkers focusing on at work? That's going to make a difference in how they see you as an employee and being part of the team. Let's see. So pretty much that's the important thing. Just understand that selective perception can improve your self-awareness. It can help with your communication, and it can help people recognize their own biases and broaden their perspectives on the world. As far as I know, we got one shot at this thing called life. So make it the best one that you can. And if you are surrounding yourself by anything that's bringing you down or is not working for you, just let it go. That's the message that I wanted to say today. I wanted to say that because I think going further, I may just not be as nuanced on my show politically. I might be a bit more biting. I might be a bit more reactionary. And if that's not what you're looking for, there's lots of other stuff out there. But I just wanted you to keep that in mind for my channel. But for anything that you choose to focus on, are you enjoying it? Are you getting something positive out of it? And if not, there's a lot of other things to put your focus on. Anyway, that is the main idea I wanted to talk to you about today. I will be going through all of your comments in the after show. That's all I have prepared for today. I know, short and sweet, just one topic, because I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with the show. So I just wanted to give you one big idea to think about. I'll go through your comments here in just a second. I will be back on Friday, a Fact Check Friday, and we'll see what kind of show it is. But I hope between now and then, I've given you something to think about with your own selective perception on what you see around you. Anyway, I'll see you in the after show. Until then, have a good one. Peace. Okay, selective perception. What I need to do now is take a screenshot because I'm still trying to figure out how to put the comments on the screen, but I'm not able to do it unless I'm live. So it comes up kind of crazy. This is let's see if I can show you here. So like what I could do, right? I can like scoot this over. No. Boom, boom. Anyway, so I've taken a screenshot of it, so now I can work on it afterwards. But anyway, how's it hanging, Tom? I'm doing good, doing well, Joe. It's funny when people say they're doing good or they're doing well. Either one is fine. It's totally okay to say you're doing good. It's totally okay to say you're doing well. Both are grammatically correct. I'm more of a good. I'm doing good. I do feel slighted sometimes if people ask me how I'm doing and I say I'm good. I say, how are you doing? And they say I'm doing well. I feel like they're trying to correct me. But again, that could be my own selective perception about that. Cool kids, always leave a like on the stream. That is right. I appreciate that. Oh, you know what? We got a number of people watching us today right now. Wow, this is great. And so we've got this deal on Rumble that if I have over 10 people watching, I am able to read something. And so I'm going to read. This should take me like 30 seconds. If you just stick with this, I would appreciate it. This is kind of fun. This will be my second live read ever. So let's check this out. This is, here we go. And on the screen, I got a scan. You can check it out. But it's time to say goodbye to Starbucks and say hello to Rumble's 1775 coffee. Unlike other brands, this is a coffee that backs free speech and is unapologetic about it. Visit 1775coffee.com. Use promo code STUDIO40 and get 40% off any coffee subscription. The coffee comes in medium and dark roast. It also comes in pea berry, which is similar to Kona coffee. That sounds good. In other words, this stuff is premium. Check out the link in the live chat or the description. You can also go directly to 1775coffee.com. Use the promo code STUDIO40 to get 40% off today. Well, there we go. I just did a live read, and I may have made a couple of bucks. So thanks, everyone, for sticking around for that. But let's go through the live chat. Joe says, I agree with books being great for that EFT. I have a cool way to describe perspectives. Hold your hand up in front of you with all fingers separated and pointing upward. Your perception of those fingers are from a single angle. You understand their position based on a number of assumptions, and you do not need all the angles to understand what you are seeing. Interesting. However, someone from another angle may see something written on your hands that you cannot see. This is another perspective, and they are focused on a different set of facts. That's a nice way to think about it. You hold up your hand. I'm looking at my hand, but maybe on the back of my hand, I have something written, like, not even going to guess. So that's an interesting way to talk about what a perspective is. And we select what we pay attention to. So that's very cool. Ideally, you should be flexible enough to shift your perspective in order to best understand any given set of facts. That's true. Often I do try to do that, have empathy, and I try to understand things from someone else's point of view, although a lot of times I don't. I will text somebody. I will text a friend or something, and I'll say, hey, I've got tickets to this show. I don't feel like going, but it's a good show. And it's a pair of tickets. Why don't you take your girlfriend, go to the show this weekend? You might like it. Let me know if you want these. Okay. Sometimes I don't even get a response. Like, hey, here's some free tickets. Do you want them? I don't even get a response. Not a, hey, Tom, thanks for thinking of me. We got something else going on. Have a good one. And I try to look at things from their perspective. And all I can come up with is like, here's Tom trying to make me have fun. Screw him. Like, I don't know. I don't always get, often I don't, it's hard. It's really hard to walk in someone else's shoes sometimes. Tom, have you thought of a new name for your show? Not yet. I'm still working on everything. I hope you keep the same bumper music. Otherwise, I'd have to learn a new one to sing along to. I'm actually working on some different music too. Yeah. Maybe you could read an advert if you haven't already. Thank you, Bones Doc. I did just read an advert, and that was kind of cool. And it was nice that it was a coffee advertisement. So that was really awesome that I had the opportunity. That's one of the things that I do like over on Rumble is now I have the opportunity to do some live reads just for people sticking around. And it's nice. That way I can make, not making big bucks here or anything. I think we got about 30 people watching total. So not a whole lot, but Doug says, Doug Christopher, sorry, but I'm heading out. Ice cream is calling. Oh, that sounds good. Books build empathy. I can see that. And Gonzo says, I'll have to try that coffee. Yeah, it sounds like good coffee. I like the name, right? Yeah, that's very cool. And let's just see, just for, so right now, okay, I got one more to read. This is going to be super quick, and this is actually, I've reached the maximum number of allowed campaign reads for the stream. So I guess I'm allowed one read per stream. This was actually just from Rumble, encouraging people to get the Rumble app. And also they've got the Rumble on the TV. So I guess that was just for fun. But anyway, that's kind of fun, being able to do something a little different. And anyway, that's my big idea for today. Selective perception, something to think about while you're out today. Think about what you choose to focus on, and then also what other people are choosing to focus on and not focus on. That's kind of the big idea I wanted to share. Anyway, that's all I have for y'all today. I'll be back on Friday. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Until next time, peace.